what we're going over this week is the actual onboarding process. So, Clive, I have a few questions for you. So, starting out, I want to ask the main thing. Once you have gotten someone hired, now what? Like literally, what is the next step? Like you said, the hardest part, you got someone in, they interviewed, they sounded great, they didn't ghost you, they showed up on time, they showed up, they seem competent, and they've got two legs, two arms, they're ready to go. What's next?
Yeah. So the first thing is that you want to have them in an inviting environment, because a lot of times we think about them coming on, but we don't think about it from employees' perspective. When employees and clients, I always try to think about it. What are they looking for? How do they see things? I try to go through the process of how would they go through it.
Right.
And when you just get the job, you may have talked to, you may have, if you're in-person interview, Zoom interview, however you do your interview process and hiring process, it was kind of mechanical. They met that person, they don't know you, they don't know what the team is like, they don't know anything. So the first thing I would do is to get them a welcome video, right? We actually say about 2 videos, which is the welcome video, how the company runs, what we're about, and then a video that explains to them how everything works, how their documents, how they're going to get paid, because everybody
Right.
wants to know.
So hold up. That's the
Mhm.
gold right there. So the what you want to do is actually prepare a welcome video that goes across the board for everyone that you hire.
Yes, definitely. You want to have a welcome video for everyone. We actually have it where we have a welcome video that's generic, right? And then we
Mhm.
ask the team lead, uh, the lady who leads our team, we ask her to send them a welcome video, because we once again in the chat, she reaches out to them. Hey, welcome to the team. It's so great to have you. We're excited to have you. If you have any questions, you can come here. Here goes the chat. That's where we're at. That's our first thing, to get them inside the chat, and then have everybody else welcome them inside the chat.
Cool. Like that. And then so you've got one that's basically welcome to the company, and then you've got one that's a little more personal. I like that. Awesome.
So one that's welcome to the company, the personal video or message, is not going to be a video, but a message is from the team lead, just inviting them and getting them into the chat, saying, "Hey, welcome. We're here." So they actually hear a voice. It's not just a video, right?
Gotcha. That makes it a little
Mhm.
more personal. They know who to turn to with questions, and it kind of sets up a routine for them.
Exactly. Somebody to lean on, right? Because it's very scary when you're starting something new. You've never been there. We know the business. We're like, oh, just come in and clean. But there's a lot of details that go on. How do I get paid? What's the app that I need to download? How do I get to this place? Do I need a shirt? What do I wear? Right? There's a million and one questions that people have when they're coming onto the job.
That's a great point you brought up. And then so something that you mentioned, I want to touch more on. You said that we need to create a welcoming environment. So what does a welcoming environment actually look like? Because we throw the term out there, but what does that mean?
Well, a welcoming environment to me, and this depends on how you believe in how you want the environment to be. Is it a fun environment? Is it a serious environment? Right? Is it a giving environment? Whatever the environment is, right? You want to portray that before. Like I said, you want them to be embraced in this family. You want them to know that we're happy to have you here. Most jobs, what they do is when they hire somebody, they're like, all right, John, you get over there on the fries, right? This is your first day. Go ahead and handle it. Or you're training with Becky, and there's 10 people around you and you don't know what the hell's going on, right? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People are calling you with instructions like, hey, did you show up here? Did you do this? You got everything? And you're like, who the hell are these people? What's going on? Right? Somebody just calls you with instructions. That's the first introduction you have to people,
Yeah.
instead of saying, "Hey, oh, it's so great to have you." Da da da. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? We also have a list of things that you like, right? What are your favorite things? What's your favorite band? What kind of gift card do you want for employee of the month? Right. So we try to get all the information. We ask them so that we can have these things later on. So when they're ready for stuff, so when they win events, prizes, bonuses, we have those for them. So that's what we try to do for an welcoming environment.
Nice. So what it sounds like to me is a welcoming environment, even if you're going to choose your own style of whether it's going to be funny, informative, or whatever it is, every welcoming environment is going to be informative. And that's what's going to make it welcoming up front, even before you add your personal flair to it. And when I say informative, again, what's going to happen on your first day? What's going to happen during our training? Like you said, the answers to those questions. What apps do I need to download? How do you get paid? When do you get paid? Where's all this information listed? All of that needs to be covered immediately so that we're not just throwing people in the field and they have these questions. Trust and believe they have these questions, and you having these answers up front creates a more informed, stable, and welcoming environment.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I've learned about them having those questions is that they have them in spurts, right? What shirt should I get? All right. Oh, all right. Thank you. Call back. Oh, I forgot to ask you, when do we get paid? Yeah, we get paid a day later. What time would it be at the job? Right. And they come in spurts because they keep solving problems as they come along, right? They don't think about all these problems that they're going to have. They don't know what problems they're going to have, right? So as they solve the problem, another problem comes up. So you have to be knocking those problems down, and then you have to know that there's a resource board before that they can go answer all the questions to go look it up, or there's a point of contact inside of the chat where they can just say, hey, can somebody help me with this?
And I like that what you said, resource board, because a lot of companies, depending on what stage you are at in your cleaning company, you may not have a whole separate HR department or a whole person or anything to deal with that. But what people need, like what people actually need, is information. What do I do in the case of this? How do I do this? Who do I ask these questions to? And having all of that information readily available for them up front is just going to make them feel comfortable as a cleaner, well informed, and ready to go and work without as many, like you said, the callbacks tomorrow. Like, hey, what color pants do I wear? You only gave me a shirt. What kind of shoes do I wear on site? Am I allowed to wear jewelry? Can I wear my 18-inch gray wig? Or
I mean,
things like that.
people have those questions, and but
Yeah.
you're not thinking about them. And as you add those questions, you see that's going on. Now, the next point about that is that you ever be with somebody who's they're so you have three categories, right? I'm like, hey, you got unorganized, right? The company's just totally unorganized, right? You go in there and be like, man, everybody's something unorganized. Then you have people that got their things together. You know what I mean? It's not bad, it's not good, it's just it's average. Then you go in there. But you want people to come into your company like, oh my God, they're so organized. They had everything laid out. It was amazing. We're trying to wow everybody in every aspect because
Including your
we're
employees, not just the people you're going after for jobs.
exactly. Because this is we have to think the retention of a cleaner. Have you done the numbers to how much a cleaner brings you in every year? Right? Have you done those numbers? And when you do those numbers, then you'll be able to understand what's going on. Because
That's the point. And it's always for owners. It is always going to be cheaper for you to keep a good employee than have to keep training new
Mhm.
having to continue to train new employees is going to be expensive. Training in employees is expensive anyway, because you're bringing them in on work where you're not saying like, okay, you are making $50 per hour because I'm putting you on a job. No, when you're training, they're usually shadowing, they're being shadowed, they're taking tests, they're watching videos. They're not doing anything but directly bringing you in money. So you need to make sure to have it set up in a way to where you don't keep bringing in people, and when you do bring in those good people, you lock them in. And I'm so happy you bringing up how you would lock them in and why it keeps them locked in. I can definitely remember when I was going and looking for jobs, and I look at a company and it's like, wow, you guys are all over the place. Now I feel all over the place about it. But it's like, if you guys are, everything's well put together, organized, informed, that's like, oh, all right.